So I'm back at it after quite a hiatus. I remembered to bring a spare differential with some flanges on it. This is a 391 torsion out of an IX, but those flanges should work just fine, so I don't really want to lift this any further than I have to. It's just sort of sitting back here. I'm going to put this thing back up in the air now, take the flanges off the Z3 diff, swap them, bolt the half shafts in, and then probably put the heat shield back on underneath as well, just to try to get everything a little happier and just more buttoned down underneath. I also did remember to bring a power steering pump at long last. That's a standard 325i M3 pump. I also brought a fuel rail. This is a regular old OBD1 fuel rail. Actually, the one I took off my 88 M3 back when it had an S52 in it. So all of that to come yet today. I also have coolant temperature sensors. I only did one, I ordered two. For this car, I do have a piece of aluminum now to modify the outlet on the turbo here. So it'll curve around and make it a better mating point for the reducer here. As far as how it's going to mate up on this side, there's going to be a little more, I'm assuming, cutting and welding here. I ended up actually going with a Mishimoto silicon, just the standard off-the-shelf part for this, because I think it's going to work the best for what I need. I need the outlets for the, what do you call it, idle air control valve and the breather. However, I think the breather is going to be catch cam. It's a little different with turbo. And that was honestly the cheapest elbow option that had ports like that. So why explain it when I have it right here? So fits just like that. There's a 3-inch opening here, which is perfect for what I need. You can see it doesn't quite line up perfectly, but we'll make it work. Well, I run into another barrel of fun. Apparently the viscous differential flanges are not compatible with the clutch type differentials. Wonderful, wonderful. So unfortunately, those are the IX flanges. I should have paid more attention when I grabbed the diff. Now I know that that makes a difference apparently. I'll go pull the other one so you guys can see here. So there we have a right-hand side and a left-hand side Z3 flange, and then a right-hand side and a left-hand side medium case viscous coupling. Wonderful. Well, I got really lucky on this. The M40, that engine, the one that came out of this car is an M42 family engine, which means in turn that it's an M50 family engine. So even though the power steering pump is different on that car, the lines line up pretty much perfectly. I didn't have to bend them at all. Really wasn't even difficult to get them into place. So I'm gonna tighten up the lower motor mount nuts here, because I haven't done that yet. They were just sort of sitting in there to place the engine where I needed it to be originally, and now that it's in place I can snug them down. The uppers I may try as well, just because I have space here. But this thing's nowhere near running just yet, so that's not as big a deal at the moment. Yeah, very happy that the power steering pump just fits straight away. And there we have it. It uses a completely different set of bolt holes for the mechanical tensioner. There you can see the top one, bottom one, right down there. The hole behind it is actually the old lower hole for the hydraulic style tensioner. You can reuse one of the bolts, but you will need two of the shortest variety. Because of this hydraulic, I also pulled out a bolt that long, which is pretty ridiculous, out of here. It also looks like it'll work for the power steering, actually. I think that'll work for the power steering, which is good, because I'm short a bolt for that. But anyway, a bolt about half that long is the one you want to bolt the lower half in. So now I'm just going to get a 15 mil for the edge of the tensioner here, and then I'm going to slap this belt on there. We should be pretty much ready to put the radiator in at that point. We will see though. So there's the standard radiator clearance. I don't have the expansion tank in here yet. I will have to put a late model tank in, or at least something that'll fit. We will see. I do have brand new radiator hoses, standard E36, M3, 325, 318, not 318, 323 hoses, all fit. Here's at least the Daco part numbers. So that's your lower hose, that's your upper hose. Next up, fuel rail. Gotta grab my injectors. So on the right, OBD2 E36 sender. On the left, pre 97.5 coolant temp sender. Old one comes right out with a 22 mil. New one should go right in with a 19. Yep. Just give it, I don't know, a sixth of a turn or something. It really doesn't take much to seal correctly. I'm not going to hard mount them yet just because the fuel lines under the manifold aren't fully secured yet. I don't have the IAT sensor hooked up yet, and I do not have the vacuum line hooked up to the fuel pressure regulator yet. That's something I may get done yet tonight. We'll have to see. I still have to replace a couple HID components on the daily driver there, because that's actually affecting my life day to day, and I'm pretty pleased with how everything's gone together tonight so far. So I guess maybe I will plug through and get everything at least pseudo mocked up on here, but I gotta take this project little by little because it's an awfully large endeavor, and I get I don't know, I run out of motivation quickly with a project this in depth, so we will see how far it gets tonight yet. Well, it won't be tonight. The epoxy failed on that, so I'm gonna have to get some new epoxy before I will trust that connection under boost. A little unfortunate, but what can you do? I found my IAT connector. That should be easy. I do have some vacuum hose in that bin down there, I think. We'll find out. Worst case, I'm sure I can rob it from the M10, or M40 I mean. Beyond that, I have everything sort of sitting where it needs to be, or approximately where it needs to be. I don't remember which of these fuel lines is feed and which one's return. I'll probably go scope. I may as well scope this engine right now. Now they're probably the same color code as the S52. Black's return. Silver's feed. Does that look right? Wow, I really can't tell, but we'll go with that. So which one looks like it was further down? Okay, so bottom one. Silver is the shorter one. I guess that answers the question, so I'm gonna have to find some hose clamps now.